The shearing's done in the springtime, and here today's quite a cool day, as you noticed, but here in September it can be a lot colder, and in areas even north of us, which you would deem to be warmer because they're further north, in fact they are colder because they're more exposed. Round, I don't know if you've travelled around Mount Cook, past Mount Cook, through that region, very, very exposed to the weather there, and very, very little cover. No trees, there's no rocks, there's no scrub or bush, so the sheep are basically out there in the open after shearing, which means you have to protect them, and to protect them in those regions, they still use the blade shearers to come and shear their sheep. Now this is a real old art on its own, the blade shearing, and in the South Island we do still have 2 blade shearing gangs at both in property. The reason behind the blade shearing is because with blade shearing it's impossible to cut the wool close to the skin. So you're going to leave a big thick layer of wool behind, and even in the most exposed places that's going to be enough for the sheep to survive a blizzard. So in Canterbury and some places they use these. The good side to using these is that it's nice and quiet. You can go in a wool shed, you hear the chipping away, and that's about it, and guys talking to each other and you can understand what they're saying. But the downside to it is it's slow. A good blade shearer will shear between 150 and 180 sheep a day. So it is quite a slow process. Another thing about blade shearing, you don't have to be dragging sheep to a certain point. You can shear it anywhere as long as you have a pair of blades in your hands. Here, because it's not so exposed and there is more cover, machine shearing is preferred because it's faster. But to once again, to counter the cold, the shearers are asked to use a snow comb or a cover comb. Now this comb has fins on the back, and those fins, when it goes across the skin, keeps the cutting edge further away, which means you once again you leave a blanket of wool behind. Not as much as a blade shearing, but certainly enough for a sheep to survive a normally cold night. So they're used. These ones, the shearers using the shearing gear using these will shear between 250 and 280 a day. So an extra 100 per shearer by using this. At this time of the year, we're just using an ordinary summer flat shearing comb. And this is the one that everybody prefers because being thin and flat, it just races across the skin quite nicely. The sheep that we're shearing these with now, because the merinos are all being shorn, are quite open wool sheep, which means it's quite easy to push through the wool. They're twice the size of a merino, but probably half as hard to actually shear because of that fact. So, working with this today, any of the professional shearers would probably be hoping to shear between 350 and 400 for the day. Now they've got to catch them, drag them out there the whole work. You know, these guys on the boat, they say these poor hard-working stokers, they stoke a ton of coal an hour. Just imagine dragging 400 of those out of that. They're the hard-working guys. I keep telling them that, but they don't believe it.
Do they know they're going to be sheared?
She'll know very shortly. Probably not. She knows something's up, but she probably doesn't know what it is. And this one, I haven't checked them out to see how old she is, but she's probably been shorn at least 4 or 5 times before. But it doesn't mean to say she's not going to fight with me. This particular breed of sheep are pretty feisty. We'll see how we get on.
If you need help, just let us know. We'll jump right in.
Oh, will you?
Sure. No problem.
Susan will jump in.
You might change your mind once I start. I only have to shear 2 sheep today, which is good for me. But at $1.65 a sheep, I don't get paid very well. I really look forward to it.
I guess. It's going to feel good, don't worry. How much do they weigh?
A lot.
A lot. And they kick. Wow.
These two in here, were left open yesterday,
The other one's looking. Friend.
and are obviously the two biggest ones.
Ah.
She probably weighs 75 to 80 kilograms, or around about 180 pounds. So it's important when I'm shearing her that I keep her in the right position, because as you saw, she got on her back, started kicking and playing around. If they get in the wrong position, you're going to fight you all the way.
It'll be right there. Tom, go on.
Alright, she knows she's going to be shorn now. So to take the pull off underneath, this style of shearing post was developed in the North Island and is now used internationally as the way, the easiest way and the fastest way to get the wool off. So, belly wool, touch wool, get all that stuff out of the way. Once we've got that dirtier stuff out of it, we can get on to the better fleece wool. Just taking it off this lump area, reaching right over.
There's a guy.
Probably want to get yourself off the speakers. Up on the back side, up the neck. And once we've got to there, down the shoulder, and that's the two legs on that side done. Now take the getting around, heavy her over.
You don't want to go away with half a haircut.
Yeah, a bit of a vertical wall thing, you don't all be at all. Sure. I think that's your last one, don't you? Get on the side. Good forward. There we go. The long
She's freezing.
She'll be freezing.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm not. She won't be freezing at all. These sheep are brought up in this environment, and the colder regions you go to, the thicker the skin they have on them. But these ones here have got very thick skin. There's still a bit of wool there, enough to keep her warm. Look in the mouth, nice big strong teeth. This one, unfortunately, hasn't had a lamb.
Hasn't had a what?
Hasn't had a lamb this year. She didn't get pregnant.
Oh.
So when they miss having a lamb, unfortunately they have to be sold. Sad, isn't it? But if you think about it, $20 worth of wool, $70 to carry her through for the year, just can't be financially viable to carry them through if they don't weigh it. You get it? Yes, you'll go nuts. Off you go. Now I thought that was big. The next one on there is even bigger. And Gordy's going to do that one. So we've taken off this piece of wool, worth about $20. All that effort. A whole year's growing, all the effort to get it off, $20 for it. Right, are there any other questions?
Now, how long will it take for her to regrow that coat?
12 months. Yeah. So sometimes with these crossbreds they'll shear them more regularly because the wool does grow longer, faster. That length in 12 months. That's what the manufacturers have set up for. That's the way they want it.
And can they vary the diet? Can they vary the texture of the wool? Or?
The texture of the wool is in the breeding. So this wool here is a carpet wool. That wool there is a clothing wool. And the finer you can get this wool, the more money you're going to get it. When you're talking finer, I'm talking the diameter of the fibre. So this here is probably a 17 micron fleece. In Australia, maybe worth $25. In Australia 2 years ago, a line of the very, very finest wool was sold. It was only 98 kilograms. So that's about that much 15 times over. That's worth maybe $150. That 98 kilograms sold for a total price of $187,000.
Wow.
Wow. So that works out at nearly $2,000 a kilogram. Went to Italy, we made into suits, and those suits are supposedly going to be sold for between $60,000 and $80,000 each. So you can see with merino you can get all this variation in price in return. With this wool here, you've got what you've got. The price return from these coming from your land. Thank you guys, nice to have you here.
Nice to be here, mate. Good shearing.
Thank you.
Thank you.